Hello and welcome. I've recently thought up some good uses for the books, and with the new JSON text. I got these command blocks. I got three types of books just to display some of the things you can do with it, and how this actually can really improve certain game maps. The first one is one for adventures or RPG. So if I just make a book here, has a lot of JSON in it, but this is what you see. You see progress, you see welcome Hunt and Doom, which is my name. My statistics, I'm level 19, I have 15 gold and my health is 20. There's one problem with these books, though. They don't update as soon as something happens. So, like for instance, my health here, if I do this, scoreboard objectives, set display sidebar, and then my health, you can see it's 20, and when I fall down, it becomes 19, it regenerates, and I'll jump up one more time. But if we make a new book, and I just made this one when my health was at 18, it still says 20 now. It's interesting. Well, let's try then something different. Let's set our level to 1. Let's make me a noob again. New book. And there you can see it. My level is now becoming level 1. So with this book, like for RPGs or whatever, adventure map, you can display the player, what their level is, the amount of gold, the amount of health, and everything that has a number can basically be displayed inside of a book. Which could be quite like a quest book or log book for like, you could also keep track of amount of players or diamonds collected or how rich you are. I'm not sure because I've only been able to test this in a single player how it would work with multiple names, but I imagine if more names will end up here, like if you want to have a party, like your party consists out of these players, then your whole page is probably going to be filled if you have a really big party, but for one person it's actually good. The second one I made is one to control your game mode. So if we actually, this one is called game settings, made by the game. So these are for like challenge maps. So we have the settings. We can choose the amount of rounds we want. So I want like 8 rounds. I press on the 8. Set score of R, which is rounds, to the player to 8. I can also set it to the sidebar R, sidebar R. So we can see 8, and if I press 3, it becomes 3. If I press 6, it becomes 6. But also I want, like to say, I want to put the difficulty in hard, and it's getting night. So maybe we should see some mobs. I can set it to night. Yeah, I can set it today if I wanted. And there is no limit to these things, because what I'm now going to show you actually requires me to be close to the village. Which was the last thing on the line, blow everything up. And this basically does an execute command on every entity in the world to summon TNT. So if we do this, whoa. Wow, that went my FPS. Oh, yeah. That was maybe a little bit more TNT than expected. Oh! No more village. Wow. It was a little bit more powerful. That's also why you see random holes everywhere, because it summons at every entity there is. Yeah, it seems to be some slimes. But yeah, but it doesn't have to be blowing up every person, but give everyone like a diamond or an apple, or you can make it as crazy as possible. Let me just say that with these kind of things. But you can also like say for if you have a game like, oh, I want this many rounds and I want to know this difficulty, and the selection is yours, and these books are pretty handy. But as I said, they don't update stats inside them. You have to first change the stats and then re-give them the book, which is a little bit annoying. And the last one, this one, is actually for voting, which I quite like. You need a second command block that triggers a trigger inside of command blocks. Minecraft has these variables that are one-time usable for players that are not operators, because this book for game settings, sorry, all these commands are only possible if you're an operator on the server. So in single player this will always work, but as soon as you go to multiplayer they won't be able to use the book. But anyway, we got this book which is called Vote Now. You could give this like to everyone on the map, and it says voting, do you want to switch maps? And you can vote yes or no, and I want to switch maps, and it's set in chat. Trigger V changed with set 1. So if I actually put it on my sidebar, V, which is vote, that means one player has voted for. And if I reapply this and I press no, you can see it is the value of -1. So in the end, when you're all done, you can say collect all the votes of everyone with an operation, give me the total value of that. Like if 50% gives 1, 50% gives -1, the result will be 0. But if more people choose for yes, means you can have a positive number. If more people voted no, you can have a negative number. And with this you have a simple voting system, but you can have more. With these triggers you can basically do what is inside of this book, but it means for every single value here and command I have in here, like blow up everything, you need to make a trigger and then detect that the trigger has been set off and went ahead. And you can also make a test. I didn't make this, but like you have a book which has the basically like test, like which will like, are you an operator, yes or no, and it will set a value. It will do like a certain command to make sure you're an operator, like u/scoreboard players set a value. Only operators can do that. Like these rounds here, 5, set score of R for player 100 to 5, which is something only operators can do, and then from that you can give them the total control of other books. But that's just something to put in there. But yeah, this can be quite powerful, because if you combine like these things, like this one, you have like an overview what's happening on your servers. You can then also do something like for players, like how many players are online and something like that, and give everyone some more health or spawn creepers near everyone. It's all how you want it to do, and you can quite customize this if you want to. And it's quite fun to do so, but the JSON text is a real pain in the ass. Sorry to say, because well, if we just scroll through it, there is so much to it. Like this, from here, this to settings, rounds, the color, the click event corresponds to it, and so on and so on and so on. For every single round you need a new value, and this goes on, and I don't even write this in this command block. I use Notepad++ to write it all, and my god, it's still going. To write this all, because in there you can also do like Control H, which lets you replace things when you've made a mistake. And if you gotta watch these quote marks, because if they're inside a book you need the /quote and all things, and it gets a little bit more complicated than it should. For this, a program that would let you design such books with their functionality would be so much more handy. Yeah, as you see, it just goes on and on. Even this one, it's already pretty big. Like displaying the score of the person, it's not difficult. Each score value I'm showing is this section. This section alone just shows where what your health is. also needed to set the color, and yeah, you can set color of anything and do anything. It's really, really powerful, but at the same time, I wish that, like, once you load a page, it would reload, like, the values on it. It would reload my level, the amount of gold I have, and that. And I think it would be more useful, because if I want to update this now, I gotta delete it and re-give myself the book to actually show what's happening inside. But yeah, I hope this is useful for your maps. I really think you can do a lot of things with this, because in most maps I built special areas where operators can go to select all these things. But if I can just give them a book now, they can change anywhere and everywhere all the game settings they ever need, like let's do now 4 rounds, and let's play, and have a start button and a stop button and a reset button, and your map becomes more, well, it becomes basically the smart app of your phone. I just realized, like your smartwatch, like all those apps they give out on your smartphone. Here, get this app and control your life, control the TV, or hook onto your PC, and you will never lose anything and be able to control everywhere. Heat up your home when you're in the car on the way back to your home, so it will be nice and warm. I should have redo this, but oh well. I think you get the hint. And there are some really good tutorials online. If you just look up JSON Talra command for 1.7.9 and 1.8, I believe you get a very, very good tutorial, which I also use, which really shows really right how to use some of the different settings, like the click event that I use in this book, because every piece of text here has its own click event. And from there, it should be really easy through that tutorial to actually manage to do this. Just remember, don't try to actually write it in this command block, just get it out of here. And if you actually, the reason I'm using a chest is because, one, it will always give me one thing, but the second one is I always found out the MBT tags of an item through this. So like, I make this setup, I get a book, I write something, I sign it, sign and close, put it in here, and then in here I will say block data from 1 up, 1, and then add to the MBT A is 1. And then here in the output, you get the total MBT tag of this chest. So if we set block data again, block data, that 1, and here you have it, and I can say, oh, I want a new lock called ASD, so we won't be able to open the chest, and let's rename the text to hello there. I believe this is needed here, and title to a proper title. You can change the author of the book, and whatever you actually want. It's quite a little needed feature, because I can make enchantments, I get the tag needed for it, and the chest is locked. I need an item called, what was it again? ASD. What's up? So, or SD. No, there's no F in there, so it's just SD. Oh yeah, here, it's open. And that's how locks work. Anyway, I'll see you. I hope you can hopefully do quite a lot of with this and make your maps a little bit cleaner and tighter with these books. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next time.